In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to how to deal with an early knight h5, specifically in the London system. Now this comes from a game that I actually just played today, so I'll go ahead and show you guys. I go with the early bishop f4, although I also can play knight f3 sometimes, but today I went bishop f4, e3, kind of locking the bishop, and then my opponent went knight f6. So you guys, if you are a London player, you have probably seen the move knight h5 many different times, and in fact black has to be careful because I've won several games with an easy, just let's say I go like knight b to d2 or maybe bishop d3, and they forget that the queen is covering that square. I have won many games like this, although it happens less and less often the higher you get up in rating, but so that's to be noted, right? Like they just cannot play that move if the queen's covering the squares. But let's say you play what I played, which was knight f3. Oftentimes you can go h3, but I just think h3 right away is a little bit early, and in fact the computer agrees with me. There's no h3 is not on the top move order, not yet at least. I went knight f3. Now theoretically, your opponent can go knight h5, and they are threatening to win the bishop, which is kind of annoying because as a London player, you want to hold on to your London bishop usually. And basically, after just being confronted with this so many times and analyzing and trying to understand, okay, when does knight h5 work? When does it not work? When do I go bishop e5? When do I go bishop g5? Am I always going to lose my bishop? Eventually, I realized that there is a bit of a pattern here, and although it's not perfect, I want to share it with you guys. So, in this game, I went bishop g5. Why? Well, there are a couple responses to this. At my rating, at least, and probably for most of you, you're going to see either two moves. It's either going to be f6, okay, or h6. We're not going to look too much at what happens if they play h6, but I would consider this probably a little bit sharper and better because, number one, they still have the possibility of bringing out their light square bishop, and sometimes that's a move that you play so that black can keep their own light square bishop and then tuck it away. h6, right, and at this point, I mean, you're either going back here and messing up your pawn structure, or you're just going back to h4. The computer finds a kind of interesting continuation here after g5. You'll notice that the queen is still x-raying that knight. So the best move, according to the computer here, is knight e5. You let them take the bishop, and you take the knight. And you can see how black now has this pretty ugly pawn structure with the doubled h-pawns. But just know that bishop back to g3 is also perfectly acceptable, and after takes, the position, as you guys can see, is still even, and oftentimes you do just give up the bishop. But if you're like me and you don't want to, then here is another option. So more than likely, I would say in my experience, most of the times they're going to play f6. Why? Because although f6 and f3 are really dubious moves, let's say, that I think often are bad. F3 does also have the purpose of, if they wanted to, it does build up a nice e5 strike in the center. In any case, I see it a lot. And right here, this is a mistake, okay? So black plays f6 here. It is a mistake, and here is why. And this is what I have learned. It's just a pattern that I've picked up that I can see immediately. And if you guys can tell by my time, I was playing these moves almost instantaneously, and I won this game in 14 moves. So I bring the bishop back after f6, and they play g5. Of course, they're going to play g5. Unless you're facing an opponent that is particularly strong, maybe they go for something sharper. Like actually here, now that they've played f6, the best move here is queen b6. This would be a little bit trickier because now they're attacking the weakness on b2 that is often the idea when the bishop develops early outside the pawn chain. And, so if you see this, okay, well, your opponent is probably pretty sharp, knows what they're doing, but it's not the end of the world. White is still better here. They're more likely, though, going to play g5, and this is something you guys can just remember that you can take with the knight, okay, because it opens up the diagonal, the discovered attack on their knight, and after taking, you take with check, and I mean, this is basically just game over. White is already 4 points up. The game is basically over in just, what are we here? 8 moves. You are going to see this a lot, I guarantee you. If you play the London system and you're anywhere between 500 to, honestly, probably up till like 21, maybe even 2200 ELO, you're probably going to see this. And it's just nice to know because basically on move f6, if they follow up with g5, which is of course the idea, that's why they're playing f6, they're basically lost. If you can just remember this fact, you don't want to go back here, right? It'd be very normal to just think, oh, I'm just going to go back with the bishop. I don't want to trap. I don't want to get my bishop trapped. It's being attacked by the pawn, so I just got to go back. And as you'll see, this is okay, but your advantage that you could have had is completely gone. You take with the knight, that's a pawn for you. They take back. You take with check, the king is in big trouble, and I'm just going to show you how this game continued. I took back, I'm 2 pawns up, and black's king is in some serious danger. That's more than enough compensation. That's the reason why white is winning so much. My opponent went queen b6 now. After some time thinking, I allowed myself to play b3. Typically I don't play that, but I just didn't want to give them anything at all. Queen b4 check, no problem. I just go knight d2, and queen c3. Okay, they're trying to attack something, but I mean, there's nothing here. Like, I can move the rook pretty much anywhere I want to. I went to c1 because I'm going to protect. I don't want to give my opponent any pawns. I was expecting queen b2, in which case I was thinking of just dropping my queen back and defending, but really there's probably a bunch of different options. Anyways, here they made another mistake. They played e6 check, and this is forced checkmate. So yeah, in 14 moves, I won the game, all because of an early knight h5. Hopefully that helps you guys play with this, put it into the analysis, you know, kind of mess around with it, look at the different lines. But what you can remember is that if you see this early knight h5, then you can give it a shot. I'm not saying you have to. Bishop e5 is actually the best move here. But if you're wanting to give it a shot, try bishop g5. If you're met with h3, well then, okay, no big deal. You know that you can always follow up with knight e5, and this is just better for white. And in the case that they go f6, you know that you drop back, and if they follow up with g5, white is basically winning already. So hope that helps, guys. If you like this, please like, subscribe, comment. Let me know what you think. Let me know if the knight h5 move troubles you, how you guys deal with that. And I'll see you in the next video. Also, if you are interested in following my journey to 2000 ELO, that's what this game is a part of. I'm playing rapid games almost every day on chess.com. You can click on the video below.